Good morning.
So hello from London, and it's my husband's birthday today, so we're up here for a little treat and to enjoy the Christmas lights, and that's why I'm a bit late today. So I gave you a bit of advance warning that I'm doing this honey today. So this is from Bhutan, which is Stingless bee honey, or Melipona honey, or Trigona honey. Now I've got quite a few stories about this. So I got this jar when I went to Bhutan in 2018. I was at the airport waiting to travel between Paro and Bhutan, and there's a little airport shop, and we had quite a lot of time waiting, and they didn't have any honey in the shop, but they did have this, but I wasn't quite sure what it was, but it does say the antibiotic honey. So I thought, wow, and it worked out £3 a jar. So although that's expensive for that much honey, as a gift for people, it was just ideal. So I bought a set so that I could give them to my bee team, and I didn't really know anything about stingless bees honeys, and so I just didn't really know what I'd bought. Well, then when I met Kabiraj and Naveen and Pretty in Bhutan, they were explaining to me that in Bhutan they have stingless bees in the south of the country, which I didn't know about. And I'd never heard of stingless bees. So stingless bees, very much like honeybees, but they're sort of a cross between our honeybees and our bumblebees. So they live in colonies, but they're smaller clusters, so perhaps 500 bees rather than 50,000 bees. And they make little cups that they put the honey in, and so the honey is taken out using syringes. And they've now found ways of encouraging the bees to expand their nests, so they have a sort of like a honey super, so they have the cups that they can take the honey from. So the honey has been used for medicine for thousands of years, and you have stingless bees all across Asia and across South America and parts of Africa. And it's always been used to treat the eyes. So this morning, because I woke up with really tired eyes and I'm starting to relax, I thought, I know, I'll put a bit of this honey around my eyes. Now you're meant to put it in the eyes, but I've not yet had the courage to do that. But I thought, I'll put a bit around my eyes, and in a couple of hours' time, by the time I come live, you'll all go, oh my goodness me, we can see a huge difference. Perhaps not yet, but it does feel nice. And what's nice is this isn't like putting normal honey on your eyes. It's not that sticky. It's a bit sticky, but it gets absorbed really quickly. So I'm going to taste it. Now you can see it's very dark. I've since tasted stingless bee honey from other parts of the world, and it can vary in colours from really bright yellow to sort of amber, and then this really, really dark one. So this comes from southern Bhutan, which is semi-tropical, but you've got high mountains and deep valleys. Now when you smell it, it reminds me actually of a really good balsamic vinegar. So it makes your mouth water, but this hasn't fermented. It's got a high water content, but this isn't fermented. But it can ferment quite easily. So it does make your eyes water, it makes your nose tingle. So I'm going to taste it. Now because it's very liquid, I can't talk while I've got it in my mouth. So wow. It's a bit like having marmalade. So you've got rich flavours, real citrus peel, orange peel, but it's rather than the lemons, it's more like the orange, maybe a bit of grapefruit. Absolutely amazing. So that's the story of how I got that jar, and I've already explained that you have Melipona bees in Asia and South America. But what I love about travelling and meeting other beekeepers is that when I went to Mondia last year, I was doing my display, my presentation about bees in Bhutan, and I had pictures of this honey, which attracted researchers and beekeepers from all around the world. And I had these guys from Taiwan, and they were very excited about the stingless bees in Bhutan because they didn't know there were stingless bees in Bhutan. And then they started to show me the videos they'd taken of harvesting stingless bee honey. So that was great, because that was the first time I'd seen anything like that. But in the background, now bear in mind these are called stingless bees, so you see people taking the honey out of the hive, but in the background there was a man running away doing this and running away from the hive, and I was like, what's with him? What's he doing? They're stingless bees. And the chap said, oh no, they don't sting, but they bite. Well, I was just stunned with that, and I thought, wow, they bite. Didn't think to ask where they bite. Well then, after the Apimondia conference, I went on an excursion. We had 2 big coach tours, and we went to different honey farms and beekeeping businesses and apitherapy centres. And at lunchtime we all met up and we had picnics outside. This all sounds so dreamy and so unlike the kind of thing we would do nowadays. However, I was sat on a picnic bench outside in an orchard with 6 other beekeepers, and there were beekeepers from Paris, from Berlin, from New Zealand, another British beekeeper, and opposite me was a guy from Mexico. So I said, oh, you know, what sort of bees do you keep? And he said stingless bees, melipona bees, and he's a honey farmer from the Yucatan, so they traditionally keep bees. They actually farm the honey in accordance with the Mayan calendar, and I've got some other honeys which I'll taste later, which I will explain about the Mayan calendar. However, I then told him about these Taiwanese guys showing me the video of the chap running away having been bitten, and I said, so where do the bees bite you? I said, I was so shocked, I had no idea that these stingless bees bit. And he said, oh yes, they bite, but they bite you around the eyes. Now to me that was a wow. The honey has been used all around the world. Wherever these bees come from, this honey has been used as medicine for eyes. Eye drops, eye massage, whatever, eyes. And yet the bees, they don't sting, but they will bite you around the eyes. So that takes you back to the whole apitherapy, and when we look at the history of stinging bees and how they will sting you along the meridians, and apitherapy's been used for years for healing using the meridians. So isn't it interesting that the honey is for the eyes, and the bees, if you're not having the honey or if you're trying to steal the honey, they'll bite you in the eyes too. So there we go, some really interesting information. So stingless bee honey, this is from Bhutan, day 10 honey advent. Have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow, maybe with one amazingly healthy eye. See you tomorrow.